guideline of the IMF that should be used at all levels.
Mr. Chairman, you want a yes or no answer?
Chairman, let me answer this question before. Mr. Chairman, let me come in.
The chairman decided for you to the minority leader, he can yield to you. Yes, Chairman, you take it in yourself. You yield it to yourself.
From 31st May till date are not
bad times where we all slept at the petrol station. So that's indication that, you know, you really need to get up and talk about it, because we cannot, as a nation that deserves so much more, come to this level. I'm working like a bull.
I was a mamma kwabon from like a black media and penny for say asem and penny pa name nipa and a penny wasem. I was young and ye now the danko Akufo pencil and ye yabete a DB to say the Achim mafias, the Achim kangaroos. I was young. Yabubo dimbo dine say NDC for power muntimi yashi. Nanso penny for say kika funu yaki kama funu yaki kama dampan. And yakinu foliata why you wanted pass and ye cano a yapotoka na entia eba ne se kenofoliata enura eye asrafo maku dunum and 15 military soldiers ebo piemu ewo kenofoliata efie na abusia obebusa se de eno mokoye ne honom eno tamuchuku ne de munchirimu eba be mam abusia yase mra omukobowura honom afi omohwe etuo ni asekan ni agyan aposifo yi ene asrafo yi de bowura honom afi omuwura honom na yase asofo wa Ghana ene ebusiemu archbishop ene emu ye elders ne nasefo ne yeso omotie gina ne empaye ne na ne se omukọ honom se sikawia bi akoso wa MPP epenso a ene omadwene ho omonte ase enti omukọ akopɛ kenofoliata na omache no ama wakọ akọcheche nsemu mu abusia omuduru honom a papa ya hwehwe no yehu no na abusia kenofoliata na ga sa babonte de nsembi aba betudwa na wama ewo Ghana ha sei anase won yinanim okwohye baabi ene oye sai interview no ene ababonten abusia ensem bebre efa eye kenofoliata wanted ya waye eho na no na krofo bi busa se ofoliata nkwa no mo pe na che na se asante bedi etu na adoda nkwa Akufo Addo Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia chairman twibu asia ko wuntumi gangalia omunyina aka ho ana abusia din bebre piepie mu ampese wo ka me ho na yakwaje nchiremu ebesisi ye abuja baby a wo hwe me bia wo haw ne amanie kodan na bia da eda wo su bia no bomode se onimi bedi nkomo ye de samna nwanwaso bi aba ye frene se eye sika kokko na gold samna wo haw bia da eda wo su bia wo hia sa samna we se bi afi wo ye bema wo hwe me wo bema sam wo komo bema ye ketwa rabeji bula matali eduro bi na wo bema enye kese watimi abo adwuma so ache ewo empem ye de akwankyere bi aba abuja no ye hwehwe wo hyebrem a ye frene se mpelifo akwankyere ana se wo betima frene back to sender onipa bi ha onipa bi tata wato bet ewo ho se wo sanity bi obeku bomode so be fa numbers na egu screen ase na woni mi akasa me hwehwe hyebrem mu wi a na bomode se me kire wo ne wo beye.
And at 4:16 p.m. the very next day, it is yesterday, Tuesday 11 February 2025, before we could respond to the letter that came on Monday, the OSP received another letter from Mr. Ofori's lawyers. This time, it was an inquiry. Mr. Ofori's lawyers wanted to know, and they stated that they were informed by the household of Mr. Ofori that in the morning of Tuesday 11 February 2025, that is yesterday, 12 men comprising 1 police officer, 4 military men, and 7 other men in plain clothing visited Mr. Ofori's house, and that by threat of force they were able to enter Mr. Ofori's house, and they undertook an exercise purporting to be a search of every room, office, gym, and other spaces in the house. Mr. Ofori's lawyers then inquired if the OSP could confirm that the actions of the 12 men were the instance of the OSP, so as to enable them to decide if a complaint to the police would be unnecessary. Mr. Oforiatta's lawyers and prayed for a prompt response from the OSP to prevent imposter action. We are now responding promptly, and we have chosen the course of answering Mr. Oforiatta's inquiry publicly at this briefing, considering the circumstances surrounding the purported raid at Mr. Oforiatta's house, media reportage of the purported raid, and in light of the reckoning that some media houses have stated emphatically that the OSP was behind the purported raid, and in light of the reckoning that the purported raid is being made to appear as if it was some untoward action by the OSP stemming from some contrived vendetta held by the OSP against Mr. Oforiatta. So, here we go. And this is our response to Mr. Oforiatta directly, but through you, the media. Mr. Oforiatta, the OSP did not raid your house on Tuesday, 11 February 2025, or on any other day. Mr. Oforiatta, the OSP did not cause any persons, however uniformed or bedecked, to raid your house on Tuesday, 11 February 2025, or on any other day. Mr. Oforiatta, that could not have been the OSP, and that is not our style. If the OSP enters your premises, you will not be in doubt as to whether it was the OSP that had come there, and your lawyers will not have cause to do an inquiry ascertaining whether it was the OSP. We have our unique methods of conducting searches, and we have uniquely designed insignia identifying ourselves, and not just by a statement that we are from the OSP. This is one such main insignia. A person cannot just show up and say they are from the OSP. It's cheap, anyone can say that. But when the OSP enters your premises, you will definitely know by our insignia, our methods, and the way we identify ourselves that this is the OSP. Our intelligence points us to state that the purported raid on Mr. Oforiatta's residence was staged, or at best, an imposter action in an attempt to court disfavor for the OSP and to derail the investigation. You know us very well. The OSP is never deterred by such occurrences, and the investigations will continue as by law prescribed. These occurrences and the OSP's intelligence, which will not be revealed at this time for fear of compromising the investigation, are very instructive as not to put premium on Mr. Oforiatta's alleged imminent peril should he travel back to the jurisdiction.
So that the prompter that I'm reading from is clear. And timer, please take it from here. Information reaching Good Evening Ghana suggests that the raid that has occurred at Ken Oforiatta's house earlier this evening, Tuesday, 11th February, was not conducted by police officers. It was conducted by military officers. Now, they don't know that somebody on the top of the building next door was filming, and that video has been made available to us. So, was filming how they entered, and then the video remained until they came out. What happened inside, the video couldn't capture because the person was on the building. The soldiers, those of you went there, you will see that to your left, there was a story building there. A very prominent person lives there, and she was concerned about what was happening, so she filmed it. And she sent it to us. So the video indicates soldiers, numbering about 15 of them. One of them is half camera, so we really couldn't check. But at least there are more than 10, numbering about 15 military soldiers, not police. They raided Ken Oforiatta's house at Cantonment earlier today. Now, everybody was pointing to Dr. Akufo Dampare. It's not about Dampare. It's not Dampare. Apparently, the Honorable Kisi Ajabin is responsible for this. And we don't know why. Kisi Ajabin is responsible for the raid on Ken Oforiatta's house this evening. Now, why are we saying this? Because we have now also seen letters that have been written from Kisi Ajabin to Ken Oforiatta, asking for Ken Oforiatta to be questioned on issues relating to SML contracts. Viewers, remember that, the famous or infamous SML contract. So Kisi Ajabin has written to Oforiatta, asking him to answer questions on the SML contract. I'm not so sure who asked him to do that, but the OSP can have a mandate originating from his table. He can originate a mandate based on the broad mandate that he has. He can originate a mandate and say that I'm coming to ask you questions. He can do that. So in exercise of that authority, Kisi Ajabin, the special prosecutor, wrote to Ken Ofori-Atta. Lawyers for Ofori-Atta responded to Kwesi Adjabeh indicating that the witness was not in town. Ken Ofori-Atta was not in town. He's in America on health grounds, and that they are able to answer questions on his behalf so long as he can produce the questions. Lawyers also promised that as soon as Ofori-Atta arrives in Ghana, they will submit him to the Office of the Special Prosecutor. As far as the lawyers were concerned, this was the conclusion of the matter. Now, they were told today that their client's house has been raided by soldiers. Quickly, calls went to the police IGP, asking Dr. Dan Pareda, what is all this about? Dr. Dan Pareda is thinking about himself, and that's what he told them, that I have not sent anybody to raid anywhere. The people who went there were soldiers. I don't have control over soldiers. I just have control over police. So the military, and this is the so I don't know whether the defense minister, Dr. Mani Boama, is aware. But please tell Dr. Mani Boama that I was mentioning his name. He's the Minister for Defense. And his soldiers, numbering over 10 of them, under the instructions of the Office of the Special Prosecutor, as widely believed, raided Ofori-Atta's house today. Military, not police, military. They raided Ofori-Atta's house today, 3-4 hours ago. The story is on City FM. Let's get a glimpse of how Channel 1...
That's sorry, yeah. Information. Party say Fidelity Bank. Omakwako CZ as a particular money. If the Minerals Income and Investment Fund. Now, according to what we are learning now, the money tallies around $25 million. Now, this is coming from the Herald newspaper. So because these people are cooking stuff. These people want to make things trend. Let's put this on the screen and let's go let's go on the blow by blow account. Say Fidelity Bank seizes MIIF's 25 million cash. Assets because the sit dying reserves cash. Or say more details about the operations and Minerals Income and Investment Fund continue to reveal reports of financial mismanagement under the leadership of Edward Nanaya Cranton, the dismissed Chief Executive Officer. Now, you realize, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama or Azumi Power, one of the new friend is saying state institutions. John Dramani Mahama Eka say basically Oshanyema Ekoswa Mbwano that particular MIIF, that's the Minerals Income and Investment Fund. Now January 14th John Dramani Mahama President or the press statement fellow Kwachi Ofosu happens to be an acting spokesperson say sisi anwa appointee obia you see anipa ne be the acting chief executive officer of Minerals Income and Investment Fund MIIF. Sanipan Justina Nelson. Amini ka say Justina Nelson on appointment eguso koswa. She's now the acting CEO. Now, even though the person have started oku bie inquire na yanom for another past CEO. Dismissed. A different Edward Nanaya Cranton. Bie the records and how things are going on. Say, in Contextual, Oma Westy Ska Siska. Sikoma Westy no. Over $25 million. And you see this, dollars. And apparently, Omo Party said this was mismanagement. So shall say this alleged mismanagement has led to the seizure of 25 million of MIIF's cash by Fidelity Bank. Yes, and trust you. Now, as MIIF had underwritten an overdraft facility for Gold Ridge Limited, a company owned by Dr. Sledge Nana Yaudodu, also known as Sledge, Sledge, a well-known figure in East Legon. Into basically, Omo Pache say, MIIF or match show and omo overdrive omo for a certain company be overdraft facility omo for a certain company Gold Ridge Limited. As our Gold Ridge Limited omo shemu nipa sa company ne de Dr. Sledge Nana Yaudodu oko East Legon din amanfo bebre edinim no e wo East Legon no Sledge or a popular pa. Yes, and trust. Now, or see MIIF, okay, has reportedly been loaning mineral royalties to private companies, including Gold Ridge Limited, which serves as gold aggregator. The loans are typically repaid on foreign currency lodged at Fidelity Bank after the sale of the gold. Now, this mineral investment and income fund, this company MIIF, omo patch say omo juma omo di anka what say omo manage the minerals of Ghana ni enye sikani ade no. They are not doing that. Rather, they are rather giving the gold and these minerals to certain companies, okay, on loan basis. Yeah, the more loan. Yeah, the more loan no mo koton eco trade no mo nyomo sikani wi a eche no ma ba betua. Into one of those companies, no, private companies are a pim a Gold Ridge Limited. Now, Gold Ridge Limited, no, or no, like a gold aggregator. A gold aggregator, more like a middle person. Now, yeah, the gold no more. Trade no money okay. Not typically they repay it in a foreign currency. And so if they repay it in a foreign currency, now scan akology Fidelity Bank after the sale of the gold. Now, for context, let's explain what and who a gold aggregator is. Now, I know all what he say. So straight up, no yen call na men check has the meaning of gold aggregator. Now, yebisa Google say gold aggregator. Basically, no, hold on, chemical So basically, what they are saying here is that a person who gather materials, okay, who bring about various source of minerals. This particular materials, gold. It's not make gold if MIIF no more makoton. No more koton. No more this kind of could do a certain account of Fidelity Bank into no investigation it is amounting to somewhere over $25 million. Reports indicate that sometime last year the Minerals Income Investment Fund MIIF, operating under the Ministry of Finance, underwrote an overdraft facility for Dr. company Gold Ridge Limited through Fidelity Bank. However, the company defaulted on repayments, leading to the seizure of $25 million belonging to MIIF in November 2024. So this is where the whole story gets slicky. According to reports on last year, okay, this particular company from Dr. Slate, the company from the Gold Ridge company, they traded or they had a business transaction with MIIF, the same gold but a Kamia said this MIIF making a certain payment on time. Okay, and this particular payments are defaulted on. It led to the seizure of $25 million belonging to MIIF just this November 2024. So it kind of gets tricky. What was the business about? Was the MIIF loaning the gold to them to sell? Was the it's so confusing. Okay, we need the finance minister to come out and give us the more details of this. But additionally, Gold Ridge Limited received $94 million from MIIF for a gold trade aggregation deal. However, the transaction resulted in losses as the foreign currency from the deal was never deposited in MIIF's coffers. This particular same company, MIIF default into a more account ENCZ and ENFZ or more accounts and or more bank accounts which has over $25 million cash there. Fidelity Bank account. Listen to this. This same Gold Ridge, they took minerals from this company MIIF, but then that particular minerals and as a gold trade it was worth $94 million. But however, up to now, because a trading, the company lost over $94 million trading into asset. They recorded losses into MIIF, which is state owned. MIIF, established by Akufo government to manage the country's mineral royalties, suffered significant financial setbacks from the arrangement. In total, Gold Ridge Limited owes MIIF $190 million. Now they are giving us a breakdown. Says our company, President Akufo Addo, then finance minister Ken Ofori, hey Ghana, Ghana ma dia kano ebetete. Hey. Ye tremu ya say MIIF you know President Akufo, the ex-president Akufo Addo. On any finance minister Ofori Atta and almost set this company up. Okay? Intuition I don't want to quote things anyhow. Okay? MIIF, established by Akufo Addo government to manage the country's mineral royalties, suffered significant financial setbacks from this arena. So President Akufo Addo and finance minister omoka say yenye MIIF ni intimi for manage enye Ghana ye mineral royalties, ye gold ye trade and hu sika eba. The way you trade is here the gold eto ebia for some time no now gold price akosro ni trade ni enye hu sika. Let's manage it. Let's manage it no. President Akufo Addo then finance minister no. They set up this particular company to manage the royalties of a year Ghana minerals no. At the end of the day, losses in Kwan no make here to the time say now no sa company no, okay, sa company no Oma recorded losses of almost 190 because they were trading with a particular company a Gold Ridge Limited. So these two companies are trading no losses are bank $119 million. $119 million. When you know sounds a leading Ghana to IMF. MIIS officials said to be fully aware of the legal manager Nana Sewa Owusu, head of legal and compliance, Daniel Imadi, chief investment officer, Bubeni Sokpo, and the CEO Edward Nana Yaukrant and board chairman Professor Douglas Boat. Interestingly, the same institution MIIF was to manage Ghana's mineral wealth through a subsidiary called Ijapa Mineral Royalty Limited. So the Ijapa deal is also coming in. And therefore, if you are watching this, you should really be shocked. Say, hey, into Ghana, we be party me cause to say. Ya whole country now, ma the ebe kakra ni yenim. Now, Oba Sewa, I say furthermore, okay, I see near fancy and near the next one. Furthermore, it has emerged that the bulk oil distribution companies limited, companies that's BDCs, recently had 30 million stock with Gold Ridge Limited. Many believe the BDCs have lost their amounts. So this particular company or the same company, Gold Ridge, they are dealing with MIIF. They are dealing with bulk oil distribution companies, Baku, they recorded a loss of over $90 million. And Baku this Gold Ridge, they were involved in a deal with bulk oil distribution company, that's BDCs, and also they recorded a loss of $30 million. So in all, this company want to know more. They should come and explain to us. Somebody said this whole thing, and yes, and then if you do be a ninano, if you do be a mega do be a some mega deal, a Japa royalty and a Japa royal deal, and as I Japa minerals deal, and it's from the therefore we want to get your comment because we know because John Dramani Mama His Excellency for PM voter regional BBSC and a man for this man cry no what I say Mama crying your DNA. The man is telling us say Akufo Addo a big mistake to Ghana. Mama on cash you Benny access say Akufo Addo say oh yeah like a computer na Ghana a computer Akufo Addo error. Now we will show you the video of why we are saying that and what is really going on in voter region. Any DSC yeah. One more voter region say based on all of these aforementioned John Dramani Mahama now before then you will be reading some of your comments, so please me pamacho amubiti made them comments aba ni reading mamo ya can send be from the sacking of a COP Tiwa Addo Dankwa to now news abeka yen say party say a company President John Dramani Mahama Oba Bemu per sec or Saki CEO no or me who says a particular company no or my shady deal be as I shady deal no at the end of the day you see this our government company now a President Akufo Addo or ne a niano a former finance minister Ofori Atta almost 30 that particular company no or me lose over 20 you freeze you over $25 million and it's no a president a John Dramani Mahama or the say ayo so Saki now my comment. Let us get your comment because we want to get your comment basically on this particular issue and even what is really going on. On this particular issue. You be reading some comments very soon.
How would you respond to your critics who say that you don't have a message? You know, when a government moves from 9 billion cedis worth of debt that we leave them in 2008, and by 2012 they are at 36 billion, and then by this year they are at 105 billion. How could there not be a message?
You talk about different economies.
You create
the economy of 9 billion, the economy of
no, I'm talking about the debt that they incurred.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they mentioned the economy of the 9 billion. That was a small economy. Now it's a huge one. No, and so they're taking more loans.
25% of debt to GDP, and now we are talking about 72% of debt to GDP.
I see.
So you have basically no fiscal space to do anything, and that's because you think you can borrow your way out of debt, which is not possible. And therefore, the ideas of entrepreneurial creativity and really supporting businesses, not killing them with energy prices, inflation, devaluing currency. Those are the things that go to give economic freedom for people to operate, and I believe it is that we can bring
the currency's stability for these years, notwithstanding. You think it's a currency that's not doing well?
Well, the currency has not done well.
You have quite stable
it's been months. I mean, these few months it has been quite stable, but you have moved from 1.2 to 4, unless you want to forget it, but that's real. You know, you can't brush it under the carpet. You have to accept that you came and met something, and this is what you have done to it. Clearly, you don't have the competence to keep an economy that stays within a certain debt to GDP model that maintains a currency at a point in which businesses can work, that provides energy to make sure that there's productivity. I mean, the gross savings of the country has been depleted. When you run deficits of double-digit figures for about 3 years, there's no savings left. And then corporates are therefore not producing as much as they do, so they don't have savings. And individuals like you and I, you know, you get your paycheck and it's over before you can say jack. So then there's no give, and you think that you can borrow to continue. So now interest payment now constitute the second largest government expenditure. From 680 billion or so that you used to pay in 2008, you are now paying 10 billion. Okay, so you have created a situation in which things are difficult, where private sector is just aghast at what it should do, where productivity has shrunk, and therefore you are compelled to increase taxes. So it's just a very vicious cycle that you are in, and until you get a fresh look at it, you know, you are stuck and derailed.
Talking about the interest payment that you mentioned, your opponents are saying that what you're paying isn't all the loans that they took, and that the interest are some of the loans that your party took when you were in power some time ago.
Well, the issue for me, Bright, is if somebody says that, saying it is different from the fact.
Okay.
You know, if you were paying 680 million CDs and you are now paying, you know, literally 10 billion, which is, you know, for interest payment, gives you no room to maneuver, and you want to blame somebody, and the question also becomes one of value.
Abuja baby a wohwe me bia wo haw ne amane kodan na bia da eda wo so bia no bomode se unimi bedi nkomo ye de samna nwanwaso bi aba e frene se eye sika kokko na gold samna wo haw bia da eda wo so bia wo hia sa samna we se bi afi wo ye bema wo hwe me wo bema sam wo fom bema ye ketwa rabaji bula matali eduro bi na wo bema enye kese watimi abo adwuma nso ache e wo empem ye de akwankyere bi aba abuzuan no ye hwehwe wo hyebrem a ye frene se mpelifo akwankyere ana se wo betima frene back to sender onipa bi ha onipa bi tata wato bet e wo ho se wo se ne tibi obeku bomode so be fa numbers ne gu screen ase na woni mi akasa me hwehwe wo hyebrem wi a na bomode se me kyerɛ wo ne wo beye